the people of Wisconsin know all about. I couldn't be more proud to be Vice President to a president who has stood every day with the men and women who serve in law enforcement at every level. You know, the men and women who put on the uniform of law enforcement every day, you know, they are heroes all. And they deserve the respect of every American every day. The President and I will always support the right of peaceful protest. It's enshrined in our Constitution. But rioting and looting, like we saw again in Philadelphia last night, it's not peaceful protest. Burning businesses is not free speech. Now, all summer long, all Joe Biden ever talked about was peaceful protest, as the American people watch businesses in our communities burn. The truth is, Joe Biden would double down on the policies that are leading to violence in America's cities. I mean, when you start to withdraw support for the people who protect and serve our families, you only embolden those who would do harm to our families or our communities. Now, Joe Biden explains it all by saying that he believes America is systemically racist. And he says that police officers have an implicit bias against minorities. When he was asked if he'd support cutting funding to law enforcement, Joe Biden said, yes, absolutely. But I'll make you a promise. Under President Donald Trump, we're not going to defund the police. Not now, not ever. We're going to back the blue, and we're going to back the blue for 4 more years. You know, the President and I know what you know. We don't have to choose between supporting law enforcement and supporting our African-American neighbors and friends and other minorities that live in our major cities. We've done both for 3.5 years, and we're going to keep doing both for 4 more years. I mean, we supported law enforcement like when you endured what you endured here at Kenosha. The President sent in hundreds of federal law enforcement officials to quell the violence in that city. We launched Operation Legend that seen to the arrest of 3,000 violent offenders in cities across the country. And we provided funding for more than 4,000 new police over the last 3 years through the COPS program. And at the same time, we saw the lowest unemployment rate ever recorded for African Americans in our first 3 years. The highest funding ever for historically black colleges and universities. We passed criminal justice reform. We created 8,000 opportunity zones in our cities, and we fought for school choice for every family of every community in this nation. I promise you, for 4 more years of President Donald Trump, we're going to keep supporting law enforcement, and we're going to keep supporting every American, and we're going to have law and order in every city, in every state, for every American of every race and creed and color. So help us God. So it's about law and order, the foundation of which is the rule of law. As I stand here today, I'm proud to report to you, Wisconsin, because of the choice you made back in 2016. We've already seen more than 230 conservatives appointed to our federal courts at every level. They're all men and women who will uphold the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution, like the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, and the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. 230 judges and 3 Supreme Court justices, including Justice Neil Gorsuch, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and Justice Amy Coney Barrett. Did you see her, right? I'm a little partial. She is from Indiana. She's a brilliant jurist. Frankly, she's doing an incredible job in her tenure on the Supreme Court for many years to come. You know, I think it's altogether fitting that Justice Amy Coney Barrett is on the Supreme Court. She took the seat of the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a trailblazer for women in the law. She inspired generations of young women to step forward and embrace careers in the law. And I know in my heart of hearts that Justice Amy Coney Barrett is going to inspire a whole new generation of women. Stand for the Constitution and the rule of law. In fact, I want to introduce to you one of those young women who I'm more than a little bit proud of. She just graduated from an Ivy League law school. She'll be starting her law career, and I know how inspired she is by both of the justices we just mentioned. Would you say hi to my daughter, Audrey Pence, who's traveling with her dad today? She's an incredible young woman. We couldn't be more proud. You know, the truth of the matter is that we're really talking, when we talk about the courts, we're really talking about what matters most. The courts are the vanguard of our liberties, liberties enshrined in the Constitution. You all deserve to know here in Wisconsin that when Joe Biden was vice president, we saw a steady assault on the religious freedom of Americans. We truly did. The conscience rights of doctors and nurses and religious charities was eroded through federal action. They hauled a group of Catholic nuns into federal court to force them to compromise their faith to live under the mandates of Obamacare. And 2 years ago, when Judge Amy Coney Barrett was being confirmed to the Court of Appeals, the leading Democrat on the Judiciary Committee said that her devout Catholic faith was a concern because she said, and I quote, "The dogma lives loudly within you." And Hollywood elites were attacking Judge Barrett's faith ever since. Well, I got news for the Democrats in Washington and their friends in Hollywood. That dogma lives loudly in me. That dogma lives loudly in you. And the right to live and work and worship according to the dictates of our faith lives loudly in the Constitution of the United States of America. Under President Donald Trump, you have a champion for people of faith. I can tell you firsthand. We restored the conscience rights of doctors and nurses and religious charities. And this president ended the assault on the little sisters of the poor, and the Supreme Court voted to make it permanent. And we're going to stand for people of every faith for the freedom of religion in America for 4 more years. And finally, and maybe most important, you're Vice President, where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris support taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. I couldn't be more proud to serve alongside a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. So in our first 3 years, we rebuilt our military, we revived our economy, we stood for law and order, liberties, and life. And none of that would have been possible without the strong and consistent support of Wisconsin's Republican delegation to Congress. So right after you re-elect President Donald Trump for 4 more years, I need to ask you a favor. We need you to send Congressman Tom Tiffany to a new Republican majority on Capitol Hill that retires Nancy Pelosi once and for all. You got me out. You know, when you look at what we were able to accomplish with a Republican House and a Republican Senate, I think there's only one way you can describe what we did together in the first 3 years. We made America great again. Am I right? And then 2020 arrived. And the coronavirus struck our nation from China. But before the first case of community spread anywhere in America, I'm proud to report to you that President Trump did what no American president had ever done. He suspended all travel from China, the second largest economy in the world. President Trump put the health of America first. Now, Joe Biden said that that was xenophobic. Actually said it was hysterical. He wrote a couple days earlier that banning all travel from any country during the global pandemic would, quote, make things worse. But Joe Biden got it wrong. And I can tell you, as the head of the White House Coronavirus Task Force for the last 8 months, President Trump's decision to shut down all travel from China bought us invaluable time to stand up the greatest national mobilization since World War II and saved untold American lives. In that time, we reinvented testing, doing more testing than any nation on earth by far. We saw to the development and the production of billions of medical supplies for our incredible doctors and nurses and healthcare providers. We saw to the development of medicines called therapeutics that are saving lives even as we speak. And we are on track, Wisconsin, to have the first safe and effective coronavirus vaccine before the end of this year, with millions of doses under Operation Warp Speed. It's amazing to think. Amazing to think. When the doctors came in to the Oval Office in early March, they said to the president, unless we all did what we needed to do, put the health of our families and our communities first, in what became 45 days to slow the spread, they said that we could lose 2.2 million American lives. So what we've accomplished, despite the heartbreaking losses that our nation has endured, and our hearts are with any families here or looking on that have suffered loss, I truly believe that the American people should be proud of what our doctors and nurses and first responders have done, should be proud of the sacrifices that we have all made in the days ahead. And as we see cases rising as the winter approaches, I want to make you a promise. We're going to keep moving heaven and earth to make sure our hospitals have all the supplies they need to give the level of care to anyone struggling with the coronavirus that we want a family member to have. We're going to keep protecting the vulnerable, particularly our seniors. We're going to keep saving lives and developing life-saving medicines. And as we do that, Joe Biden talking about shutting down our economy, we're opening up America again. It's amazing to think because of the strong foundation that we poured in those first 3 years, because of the unprecedented support that President Trump secured from the Congress for families and for businesses. After we lost 22 million jobs at the height of this pandemic, we've already seen 11.5 million Americans go back to work, including 260,000 people right here in the Badger State. We're opening up America again. So we've gone through a time of testing this year. You came out on this bluster today because, 6 days from now we're coming to a time for choosing. Men and women, I can tell from the looks on your faces, the choice in this election has never been clearer. but the stakes have never been higher. I mean, you look at their agenda: higher taxes, open borders, socialized medicine, a Green New Deal, defunding the police. You can tell. Joe Biden would be nothing more than a Trojan horse for the radical left. Joe Biden says that democracy is on the ballot. Well, I think our economic recovery is on the ballot. I think law and order are on the ballot. But so are things much more foundational to who we are. You know, in this election, I think it's not going to be so much whether America ends up more Republican or more Democrat, more liberal or more conservative, more red or more blue. I think the choice in this election is whether America remains America. It's whether we're going to chart a course based on our highest ideals of freedom, free enterprise, faith, family, and limited government. Or whether we're going to let Joe Biden and the radical left take us on a path of less freedom, more government, and an inevitable path to socialism and American decline. So for our freedom and all the ideals that have always made America great, my fellow Americans, in this election, you need to vote to let freedom ring. We need to say with one voice, America will never be a socialist country. And we need to decide right here and right now that Joe Biden will never be president of the United States. We're going to re-elect President Donald Trump for 4 more years. Boy, this is a hearty bunch today. I'm so glad you came. I really am. And I want to thank you before Audrey and I go jump back on that plane and head to Michigan. I want to say a couple of things before I go.
Sorry.
You know, I actually didn't know the president very well before he called me to join this ticket 4 years ago. True story. But when he called that night, I said yes in a heartbeat. Because I knew he had the vision. And he had the leadership qualities to bring this country back. And I can tell you firsthand, having been at his side every day in the last 4 years, there has never been a day gone by against unrelenting opposition and resistance by the Democratic Party, against unrelenting and unfair attacks by their allies in the national media. There has never been a day gone by that President Donald Trump didn't get up and fight to keep the promises that he made to the people of Wisconsin. Now it's our turn to fight for him. It's on, Wisconsin. I need you to bring it. Okay? 6 days to go. So I got a couple things I'd like to ask you to do. Number one, as soon as we get done here, I'm told early voting has already started. So the first thing I need you to do is vote, Wisconsin. Vote to re-elect President Donald Trump. Okay? The president cast his early vote Saturday. Karen and I voted down in Indiana last week. You need to go get it done too. If you need any help, I checked on the way here. You can actually go down to the city clerk's office, 225 Main Street. Open 8 to 4 weekdays. And remember, friends don't let friends vote alone. Bring a neighbor, bring a coworker, and vote to re-elect President Donald Trump. Do it today. all about. And secondly, after you vote with a friend, I want you to go tell somebody every day between now and when the polls close. Tell them why you came out here and sat cold. Seriously. I mean, we're worth it. Our future's worth it, right? I mean, you did it. I loved it. You know, the President and I were on 60 Minutes on Sunday night. Yeah, that was right. But there was something that he said that, looking out at all of you, I just rang so true when he said it. That reporter from 60 Minutes said, "Can you describe your supporters?" And without hesitation, the President said, "They are people who love our country." So go out there and talk about your love for America. Tell your neighbors and friends we need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. That's it. USA, 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 USA. And one last thing I might encourage you to do. In these divided times in which we live, where it seems like there's more that divides us in this country than unites us. You know, I'll always believe, after spending 4 years traveling as your Vice President, that there will always be more that unites us in this country than could ever divide us. And chief among those things is faith. This is a nation of faith. I hear about it every day. The sweetest words the President and I ever hear when people reach out across the road line and say, "I'm praying for you." We hear it all the time. So let me just say to all of you that are inclined to bow the head and bend the knee, next 6 days would be a good time to do it. And when you pray with confidence in those ancient words that Americans have clung to through much more challenging times than we could possibly imagine. That if his people, who are called by his name, will humble themselves and pray and turn, that he'll do like he's always done in the long and storied history of this country. He'll hear from heaven, and he'll heal this land. This one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So pray for America. Pray for all the American people. It'll make a difference. And if you do all that, I just know that we're going to have a great day come November 3rd. This road to victory goes straight through Wisconsin. And I know if all of us go spread the word, if you vote with a friend, talk about why you're in this movement, about the choice we face, and take time to pray. I know we're going to have a great victory all across Wisconsin and all across America. And I do. And with Congressman Tom Tiffany in a new Republican majority on Capitol Hill, with President Donald Trump back in the White House for 4 more years, and with God's help, Wisconsin, I promise you, we're going to make America great again. Again. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out today. My great honor to be with all of you. God bless you. Now let's go get it done, Wisconsin. Sun coming up over New York City. City. School bus driver in a traffic jam. Staring at my faces in a rearview mirror. Looking at us, I'm a plan. I wanna keep dreams, but I can't portion. One kid gets paid early. One could end up going to prison. One just might be crazy. All I ever needed was dreaming. All I ever needed was dreaming. Get a chance. Everybody gets the dance. All I ever needed she came out here to be an actress. He was a singer.